What is up, my good people of the internet? Happy to be here with you, hanging out where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hope you're having yourselves a tremendously awesome morning this morning. We are doing great here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. I want to thank you for your patience here on the broadcast today. Part of the annoying moment of the week when you sleep through it, you sleep past an alarm. See, I set one alarm, then you set a second alarm, and sometimes, not always, thank God, I have an internal clock. And I think, a lot of us have this, right? This internal clock thing where we somehow know that we're supposed to be awake. And so if we sleep through something or sleep past something inside of us wakes us up and says, hey, you're supposed to be somewhere. You're supposed to be doing something. So I set one alarm, fine. And I've been working a lot, staying up very late hours in these past few weeks. And, so I typically do that. I'm typically working a lot and staying up. So the alarm goes off and you go, okay. And then the second alarm goes off and you're like, all right. And then you kind of hang out there for a minute. And usually I don't fall completely back asleep. But today it happened. So thank you for your patience this morning. I definitely appreciate it. We're going to get into a lot of awesome things here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. You know, and I know that on Fridays we do our signature segments here, our trio of signature segments. We start things off with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Then we jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, that acronym brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Today's topic is about social media being for spreading love. Can you imagine? Social media should be to spread love. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Good morning to Mama and everybody out there. Happy to have my wonderful parents and my dog and all of my beautiful friends and nieces, nephews, friends I consider brothers. God bless y'all and sisters. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're staying warm wherever you may be. So we'll jump into Lead. Then we're going to get into the top dog of the week at the top of the second hour, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. So we'll get into that. And then you and I are going to have some fun here with an all-new segment with a new logo entitled Cereal Combo. And Caitlin Hodge Mahalis, she'll be on the show with me. You know that she's been the King's College Monarchs women's basketball coach for a long time. We met when I was starting my broadcasting career. I was doing MU courtside at Marywood University, covering men's and women's basketball games live. And she was on the women's basketball team for the Marywood Pacers. She has since moved on to become a head coach. She's been head coach for a while here at King's College. And whenever she comes on the show, if you guys, are people that have been on the show for a bunch of times, you know that we talk a lot about cereal and making those combinations. We're always discussing cereal when Hodge and I are talking about sports and life. We somehow bring it to cereal for a minute and we discuss the combos that we do and the different things and the mashups. So then I was talking to her and I said, instead of just coming back on the show, why don't we do a thing called Cereal Combo? And I made a logo for it. Found a good graphic out there, put some stuff on it. And I said, why don't we do a thing called Cereal Combo where you and I will have cereal on the show live, and we're not going to tell each other, but we're going to make our own combinations, our own concoctions of cereal. So we're going to get the cereal bowl out, mix some stuff together, and we're going to eat those cereal combos, well, this cereal combo of her and I discuss the world of sports and life. So we're going to have some fun here on Friday. First time we've ever done it. And, you know, I always like to bring new things and try new ideas and be unique and original. And to me, it's all about creating something that's never been created before. So we have the opportunity to do that with you here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. So I'm very excited to do that. All inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. So let's get into the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Folks, this is a segment that, you know, when we're bringing you the annoying moment of the week every week, you what you know is that you don't know where we're going to go. But I've talked to you about dating, and I've talked to you about how crazy it is. I've talked to you about how strange it is, how interesting it is, in not a great way, and how things just seem to be very, very, very not fun. I have friends that don't date anymore on purpose because they don't want to deal with the craziness. And I, have stayed away from having a girlfriend for a while because I've gone out on dates with people where I'm like, you know what, this is not a good thing. You check for those signs early, you see them, you walk away. Well, so when you're on a dating app, and you know my thoughts on dating applications and how much I don't like them, but how people don't want to meet in person anymore, which I would love it if that would happen. So in the digital world of digital crazy, I saw this person liked me, this woman, young woman, in her 30s, liked me, and her and I just looked at her profile. I said, you know what, let me check out her profile. Let's see what this profile says, because you don't always read the profile. Let's face it, folks, men and women, if you say that you don't do this, I would venture to say you may be not telling the full truth. But we look at what you look like first, right? Because on a dating app, you see what somebody looks like, and you go there. So that's the first thing you see is what someone looks like. So this is this person's profile. I'm going to read it to you. Here we go. Not looking for anything serious, just a husband who's my rock and I'll be your ride or die. Okay. Little fun, little twist in the first sentence, nothing wrong. I have a child. I would prefer it if you did not. Automatically hypocritical, automatically double standard. I have a kid. I'd like it if you don't. I would prefer it if you did not. However, you must want children in the future. So you got to take my kid, and you and I got to have kids, but you better not have a child. You must be mature, okay, responsible, fine, and own your own home. Sorry, guys. Sorry, gents that have apartments. Sorry, people that are renting if you have condos. Sorry, people that have gone through this COVID time period and sold your house and maybe tried to save some money. Sorry to the people that thought, hey, I got to downsize a little bit. If you don't own your own home, you can't date this woman. And she says, as I do mine. So she's got her own house. You must have an active driver's license. Sorry to my people that grew up in New York City. Own or lease your own vehicle. You best have a car. And you better not be renting it. This thing better be leased. Or you better own it. Here's the craziest part of it. And have a credit score greater than 730. Must enjoy and have the financial means to travel the world. Active passport required. And then there was more, because maybe she copied and pasted this from another dating app that allowed her to say more things and make more demands of men, but that was cut off. And she has since this morning put a period after the passport required, so there's no more. I'm going to read it again. Not looking for anything serious, just a husband who's my rock and I'll be your ride or die. I have a child. I would prefer it if you did not. However, you must want children in the future. You must be mature, responsible, and own your own home as I do mine. You must have an active driver's license, own or lease your own vehicle, and have a credit score greater than 730. Must enjoy and have the financial means to travel the world. Active passport required. This sounds like a job application. That's essentially what it looks like. It looks like a job application. Looking at this going, okay, I got that. I mean, if you have a credit score of 720, then she ain't the girl for you. If you have a child, so she had a child in another relationship. If you do the same thing, you're not welcome. Think about that. But see, I talked to you guys about this. I talked to you guys about the dating world and the online dating world and all this stuff. And I've told you over and over again the crazy things that happen. And if you didn't believe me, I'm reading you a profile. That is what somebody wrote. That is their first impression. That is what they want you to see first. You better own a car or you better lease it. I don't want anybody in an apartment. I don't want any credit score. You can't even have a credit score of 730. And I don't know why she picked 730. But if you have 720, 690, and if you have 750, you better hope it stays. I mean, if you date this girl and let's say your credit score is 750, credit scores fluctuate. If she checks that thing weekly like a business would, you might be breaking up in week 2. I mean, what is the first date? Hey, give me your phone, go into Credit Karma, show me your credit score. Because I really like being here with you, and I'm not going any farther and getting my hopes up if I can't literally see the credit score. I only dated one other girl, and she didn't preface with all this stuff, but I only dated one other girl in my life that wanted to see my credit score. And I think she hid hers, but then eventually she showed it to me. Folks, I don't know where dating I don't know why it's gotten here outside of the fact. And I said to her, I was like, you know what? I got to entertain this. So I said to her, you have a very descriptive profile. And she said, I'm just trying to do some weeding. You're a headhunter for a business. That's what you're doing. At no place in there did it talk about love. At no place in there did it talk about romance, comedy, kindness, goodness. If you are the best man in the world, but you don't have an active passport, you're out. If you're the best guy in the world and you happen to own and you happen to rent an apartment, you're out. If you're the best guy in the world and you're building your own business and you're doing this and doing that and you're doing very responsible things, so right now you don't have the ability to financially travel, you're out. And in these days, we have to decide if we're going to go to Florida or if we're going to buy eggs. Right? I mean, the prices have gone down on eggs, but still. And cereal, when we're doing cereal combo later, cereal's gone up like $2. Lily's dog cookies have gone up like $2 as well. You know, people like this have some nerve putting this stuff out here. Well, I'm just trying to weed it out. How many men did you date where them having an apartment disrupted your relationship? How many men that you dated had a credit score that disrupted your relationship? And the thing that hits me the most was the credit score, and it was I got a kid, you better not have one. I'd prefer it if you don't. Flat out. Could you imagine if I said that to a woman? Could you imagine if I put in my profile, hey, if you got a kid, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. And then I turn around and say, well, I got one. So you got to deal with my baby mama, but I'm not having that baby daddy drama. We're not doing that. So that's what this woman's essentially saying. She's saying, you're going to have dinner with me, my kid, sometimes Steve. Steve's going to come along. Here comes Steve. Steve's going to hide in the bushes, try to stab me on the way into the home. But you can't have a child. So maybe she dealt with a crazy baby mama. But we don't know about your baby daddy. We don't know what his decisions are and his thoughts are. You're tethered to someone for the rest of your life because of decisions you made, right? Not faulting you. We've all had past relationships. If you're in your 30s, 40s, I would imagine you've had your fair share of past relationships. But you are now tethered to somebody for the rest of your life. Your child is tethered to them for the rest of their life. And you're telling a man, you got to now be tethered to all of us, including my baby daddy. But I don't want you to have a baby mama because I don't want that drama. Hypocrisy, double standard, finances. And you know that other girl that I said, the girl that I said I dated that had seen my credit score? I asked her what she said to her parents about me when I was going to meet her family for the first time. She's like, I told them that you have a job and I don't really understand what it is, but you have health insurance and you own your own home, so you must be doing okay. That's how she described myself. That's how she described me to her family. He has health insurance and he has a home. So whatever he's doing in his business, he must be able to do okay. Because she didn't take interest in what I was doing. So she introduced me to her family as a guy who has health insurance and owns his own house. Nothing about the person I've chosen to be, nothing about my faith, nothing about my kindness, my generosity, romance, my ability to love a woman, show her respect, treat her right. None of that. I can pay for health insurance and I have a house. This is more of the same. But see, this is what people do. And when I tell you it's the annoying moment of the week, some people might say, okay, Dan, you're embellishing. Okay, Dan, you're just upset. Okay, Dan, you're just having a rough go at it, right? This is what people do. This is what people do. Now, this is the most egregious party foul of a message I've ever seen. And listen, folks, guys do it too. There's a message from a guy that was absolutely disgusting. And I looked at it because a woman had sent it to me, and I was floored by the fact that a man would speak about women the way that he did publicly and be like, hey, if you never click on my profile, like every single woman that goes past this profile is going to see how much of a dirtbag I'm acting like. Whether I am or not, whether this is a joke or not, like I'm going to write some really disrespectful, shameful things, and I don't really care who reads it. And I feel like these people get dates. I feel like when you're the nice person, you're the good person, you're the kind person, you're the understanding and empathetic person, you're the one that is last to, get that meal ticket for bread at the end of the line, but while everybody else is eating. But this is what people do now. Now, Kimbra said, that's why she's still alone. It's about love. She's not a ride or die, because if she was, it wouldn't matter about a credit score, baby mama drama, apartment, etc. Kimbra, I'm with you. Mama said, sounds like a gold digger. What's happening to these people? OMG, this is so entertaining. What a whack. Yeah, and this is what people say. This is what people say, and this is how people act. And again, I'm not in this world to make somebody believe me when I get on the show and I tell you this. I've never lied to you. 20 years of being a broadcaster plus, and I've never lied to you. Could I always get better? Could I have looked something else up? Could I have, checked this deeper and this, that, whatever? Yeah, of course. Yesterday we were on the show. I said something about the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator, and I don't feel like the team plays defense. And then I said, devil's advocate, I went and I looked up statistically, and they have grown and gotten better as a defensive unit. I still am not moved by it, but it refuted some things I said, and I corrected myself. But I don't lie to people. That's not who I am. That's not what I'm about. If I were to tell a lie, I would have to literally hang up if I told a lie, hung up the phone, I'd call you right back and be like, hey, this is what I did. Just so you know. Because I can't live like that. I can't live with a lie. So I tell the truth. But I think some people, they get bitter, they get angry, they get upset. And we talk about dating here on the show. It's where sports meets life. We talk about it more on my show, Two Mics, No Filter, with Andrea Smith. By the way, the first episode of 2024 is coming up this coming week on Wednesday. Can't wait to share that with you. And we do discuss some of these things. But I look at this, and I think sometimes people think that this isn't happening. They think we're embellishing. They think we're just bitter about the dating world. And I just read you a direct message. I read you a direct profile message. And I mean, this is what we see now, and this is how people act now. She said you must have kids. And so, you go back and forth and you entertain it, and she writes back, how many preferably? And I've dated long enough to understand and seen this woman's MO enough to understand that she's got a number in her head. And if I don't hit that number, I might get deleted off the app. Boom, done. How many preferably? Does it matter? If God blesses me with one, he blesses me with one. If he blesses me with five, he blesses me with five. But I know that this woman has a right answer. There is a right answer to how many children. There is a right answer to the credit score. What if I turn around and said to her, I want a credit score that's 800 or higher? So I agree with you, it should be above 730, but I think it should be 800 or better. I only date the 800s. I'm elite. Right? Tell me about your baby daddy. What's his story? Is he going to come out and stab me in the bushes? What's his deal? When you start off cold turkey, I don't even want to say cold turkey, that's not the right words. When you start off first impression, throwing all this stuff out there, you think you're weeding people out. What you're actually doing is you're offending good men. You're offending kind men. You're offending men who have dealt with women that have focused on the wrong things. And then somebody would say, well, Dan, how dare you say it's a wrong thing? It is a wrong thing. A woman just responded on the feed. Kimbra said that. When you focus on the wrong things and you're abrasive like this, the good men are disgusted by you. The good men go on their broadcasts and use this as an example. Now, I will never say the name of this person. I will never share a picture of this person because I'm never here to personally attack. I took what she wrote as an example to share with you about a bigger topic, which is how dare us? How dare us? There's nothing wrong with weeding through things. There's nothing wrong with trying to find the right person. But there is something wrong with being distasteful, with being double standard driven, with being hypocritical, with being focused on money. See, I was in a relationship before, and we were having a discussion. We were disagreeing on something, and I stood in the doorway and I said to her, I thought I was everything you wanted. She looked at me, she looked me up and down, and it was as if she had this thing planned in her back pocket to tell me someday. And she smirked and said, I asked God for 6 feet. And it was something that it's like she knew, I'm going to hurt Dan. It's something Dan can't change. He's 5'8", and that's what he is. So I'm going to say this to him, and I'm going to hurt him because I want to. Because I want a man who's 6 foot tall, and you're not 6 foot tall. And you have everything else I want, but you're not 6 foot tall. See, people that think like that, men and women that think like that, you're going to lose every time. You're going to lose. Because you'll meet someone that's 6 foot tall, but then they don't have a credit score that's high enough. And then you'll meet somebody that has a house, but you'll meet somebody who has baby mama drama. I believe that when God sees these things and sees people focused on these things, he teaches them the lesson of, this is not how I created love. This is not what love is. This is a job application. And with all due respect, who does this woman or man think they are to say, here are my demands, you better meet them? What about my demands? See, but I don't have demands that are outside the normal realm. You know what I put on my profile? I talk about comedy, laughter, loving my family, my friends, spending time with my dog, cooking, things that are loving, caring, fun, right? Laughter, love, chasing your dreams. That's what mine talks about. Mine talks about being surrounded by love, spreading love, working hard, enjoying your life, and making the most of the time that you have with the people that you care about. Love isn't a hard thing. People are hard. So it's my annoying moment of the week, because as hard as it is for a man to find a good woman, and a woman to find a good man, and whatever else you like in this world, I always tell people, hey, you're welcome to the show. Whoever you love, I told my friend Patrick, he came out to me years ago, and he thought we were going to stop being friends after he came out to me. And I said, Patrick, why? He said, well, because my best friend stopped being my friend. I said, Patrick, that's him. That's not me. I said, are you killing anybody? He said, no. I said, you robbing anybody? He said, no. I said, so all you're trying to do is love somebody? He said, yeah. I said, then go love them. See, if you are out here searching for love, doing things for the right reasons, we need to stop in society talking about, well, the right reasons to you are different than the right reasons to me. No, the right reason to look for love is because you want to have a caring, nurturing extension of yourself. You want to love someone. You want to create a family with them. Sometimes there are universal answers to things, right? Because what this woman's looking for, this isn't love. She's looking for a man that she tried to make as an action figure, and it didn't work out, so now she's seeing if another manufacturer has one. That's not how you find love. And it's not easy to find. It's extremely heartbreaking, the road to it. But at the same time, this stuff is my annoying moment of the week, because the thing that's more annoying than anything is not that they think these things, but that they share these things that they're thinking because somebody or something told them, not only is it okay to be hypocritical, to have double standards, and to be very disrespectful and demanding, not only is it okay, but you have the right to tell the world, this is what I want. What you do, you have the freedom of speech. But that doesn't mean that it's right. I have the freedom to go out and drop F-bombs in the middle of a public square. But it doesn't mean I should. It says I can, but there's repercussions. And if this woman thinks that profiles like this don't push away men that want to love you and appreciate you and be there for you and have a family with you and do things in a godly way, if you don't think that you think this is only pushing away the bad men, you're wrong. Because it disgusted me, and it disgusted me enough to put it on the show today. I'm not a perfect man. But I have never asked a woman to do any of these things. I've asked for love, respect, laughter, kindness, hard work, generosity, empathy. When you look at let's look at this part of it. The gifts of the Holy Spirit. Because on Blessings in Baseball, my buddy Dukes Knudsen brought this up. Wisdom, understanding, counsel, fortitude, knowledge, piety, and fear of the Lord. So, I mean, there's other ways to say this, but that's when you look at the gifts of the Holy Spirit. Right? Wisdom, understanding, counsel, fortitude. It's a firmness of mind in doing good and in avoiding evil, particularly when it's difficult or dangerous to do so. Knowledge, piety is revering God with filial affection, paying worship and duty to God, paying due duty to all men on account of their relationship to God, and honoring the saints and not contradicting Scripture, and fear of God. When we look at these, gifts of the Holy Spirit and, fruits of the Spirit and this and that and everything, none of that's in there. None of that's a piece of it. This is what I was looking for, the fruits of the Holy Spirit. There's gifts of the Holy Spirit, fruits of the Holy Spirit. The fruit of the Holy Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's not a single one of those things in that message that she wrote. When she said, this is what I'm looking for, she did not put love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, generosity, faithfulness, gentleness, or self-control. There was not a single fruit of the Holy Spirit there. And again, I'm not attacking this person. I didn't tell you their name. I'm saying this is a message of a grander scope of people that just think that these things that you're asking for, that you're demanding of somebody else, that this is going to find you love. And it's sad. But you ain't going to get it from me. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. And the funny thing is, even if I have that credit score and I have that home and I have this and I have that, I can meet all of your criteria. But, honey, that ain't love. And the way you talked about finances over and over and over again, are you looking for a man? Or are you looking for, you want to have kids because you want another baby daddy because you want another paycheck? I don't know what you're looking for, because I can't tell in this message why you want another baby. But I do remember the Ace of Base song, All That She Wants Is Another Baby. I do remember that song. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. When you date, folks, date smart, date safe. Please do your due diligence to make sure that you put yourself in a safe environment. I bring up something that I consider annoying. We joke about some stuff. We talk about the deeper issues of it. But please, when you are dating, when you are around strangers, be safe. Know your surroundings. Make sure you have a way to get out. Drive yourself to these dates. Give yourself the opportunity to be as solid as possible in the protection of yourself and making sure that you get from wherever you are to wherever you're going safe and sound. So please, please be smart, have wisdom, have knowledge, ask questions, let people that you love, that love you, know where you're going in case you need any help. That is crucial. And I'm talking to men and women. Everybody heed that warning. Please be safe when you're out there, especially when you're around a stranger. So please do that. With that being said, we have Cody asking about the NBA. Cody, if you have an NBA question, send it over to us. We talked a lot about the NBA yesterday, and my Toronto Raptors making a big-time trade to officially go into rebuild mode. So if you do have a question, send it over. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for Lead.
Hi, This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. He kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports truly meets that thing called life. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful morning this morning. We have brought you the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. It's now time to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is the acronym that we bring you every single Friday as our second segment of the morning. Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver. Always happy to bring this to you. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. And today's topic, social media is for spreading love. And some people giggle and go, yeah, okay, Dan, social media is for spreading love. I've seen social media, love on social media. Now, this is what it should be for. Social media is for spreading love. Now, remember when Facebook first started? I was in college. I was a senior in college. Social media came out, and you could only connect with, at the time for me, it was 200 people. It was whoever was at Marywood University that had a Facebook profile. That's who I could talk to. And then one day, I'm going to shout out somebody I went to elementary school with, Jessica Russo. What's up, Jessica? Hope you're doing well. God bless to you and all your loved ones, always and forever. It said Jessica Russo wants to be your friend. And I was like, Jessica Russo, how did she find me? You can't find anybody unless you go to college with them. We went to elementary school together. So that's when I realized it had expanded. So it started just college, then it expanded, then, she found me from elementary school, and now literally anybody in the world on Facebook, right? And then Instagram comes out, and it's people posting pictures and videos and not a lot of verbiage, but just kind of like, here are pictures and here's the videos and yada yada and whatever. And then here comes Twitter, which is now X, and it's like you only have a certain amount of characters. You got to get all your thoughts out there, but it's tiny. And then they expanded the characters, thank goodness. I think the characters now is good enough to get them out, that, to get your message out there. I think the ones that they had before was a little bit difficult to get you, especially as a broadcaster, like get your links in and all the stuff that we do for the show. So social media comes out, right? And then you get TikTok and so on and so forth. And it's just people doing stuff, do TikTok dances and, hitting it with it, and then you got Reels on Instagram and, people two-stepping all over the place. And then we started seeing some really hateful things. And people started fighting about politics, and people started fighting about religion, and people started fighting about literally everything. Your baby's ugly. And then people got comfortable, right? Your baby's ugly. Your girlfriend's fat. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should kill yourself. And then, obviously on Facebook, I run a group. And I run more than one group. And one of the groups that I run, I get messages of hate speech and negativity, and people report each other. And I have to sift through all this stuff and look at people that called each other names and threatened each other or yelled at each other or are spam bots or are trying to sell tickets that they don't have. And you look at all this and you go, is this really what social media was made for? Which, in my opinion, it was not. Social media was not made for this trash and this garbage. You know what I mean? And Cody, you had written to me to talk about the NBA. If you have an NBA question, go ahead and send it over. Because I see that, and I saw it a couple times here. So if you have an NBA question, make sure you shoot it over to us. The social media that we have, to me, it's to bring people together. When I was a little kid, Damon Stoudemire is my favorite basketball player ever. It's my favorite. And when I was 9 years old, my mom and I were trying to find an address to send him a letter when I was a kid. And it took us like forever to find anything, and I don't even know if we found the right one. Nowadays, I can go on social media and I can find Damon and I can send Damon a message. I can literally send Damon a message. I could I could do it right now. I can look him up right now, send him a message today. And be like, hey, Damon, how you doing? Big fan. Appreciate all the work that you've done. That's how instantaneous social media has made everything. And that's how easy it is for us to interact with each other. And I just feel like, look at what it's become, though. Look at what social media has become. To me, it's that really cool thing where you can reach out to your favorite, actor, your favorite actress, your favorite entertainer in general, right? Your favorite comedian, your favorite writer, your favorite whatever. Favorite basketball player, favorite field hockey player, favorite volleyball player, favorite skater, right? Favorite whatever. You can reach out to them. You can go and find people that you lost touch with 20 years ago. Social media, in my opinion, was meant to spread love. It was meant to make the world smaller in a good way. It was meant to bring us closer together, to help us to be able to reach things that were unreachable. We couldn't talk to Taylor Swift. We couldn't talk to Brad Pitt. We couldn't talk to Michael Jordan. We couldn't talk to Jim Carrey. Now we can. Anyone who has a social media account, we can talk to them. And what does social media become? People create fake accounts. They pretend to be somebody they're not. Dave Chappelle, allegedly somebody pretended to be him and got in a fight with Cat Williams, but then it wasn't a real Cat Williams and it wasn't the real Dave Chappelle. It was just two idiots fighting with each other, pretending to be that. And I feel like that should be somewhat illegal when you pretend when you take on the identity of someone and falsely put out messages and information from them, impersonating them. Isn't impersonation to the point where, you're out there publicly saying things and then that person is being asked, why did you say that? And they're like, I didn't say that. It's a fake account. And we see that. We see fake accounts. There's fake accounts on dating profiles. I think some people think you just don't know that actress. And you flip it through them all and you're like, that's Kirsten Dunst. And the name on there is like Jill, 29 years old. And you're like, okay, well, that's Kirsten Dunst's picture. Kirsten Dunst is 36 years old, and this isn't Jill. So social media, dating, all this stuff, it's now become all these other things. And I don't want to sit here and tell you all the things that it's become. I want to focus on the positive. Social media is for spreading love. And I said, when some people see this, they might chuckle and say, oh, Dan, then you haven't been on social media. No, I'm asking us to do this. I'm asking us to use social media to spread love. I'm asking you to post positively. I'm not saying you can't have a day where you talk about something that bothers you. I'm saying respectfully be on social media. If somebody disagrees with you, that's okay. If somebody doesn't like you, that's okay. But to spread love, you know what I do on Instagram? On Instagram, well, pretty much every single week, I go and I post messages on my Instagram story. And if I'm the one that wrote them, so like if I'm not sharing a message that somebody posted, if it's my post, then I will sign each of them individually, showing you like, this is a personal message from me to you. If you need to hear it, it's here for you. If you know somebody that needs to hear it, it's here for them. So feel free to share it to them. But I'll post a message and just try to share some insight, something I need to hear that maybe you need to hear, and I leave it up there. And my Instagram has grown based on spreading love. My Facebook has grown from sharing my show, where we're honest and we spread love and we talk about difficult topics, but we do it in a way that I would like to think is respectful of everybody out there, is open to everybody out there. On X, which has been a food court of sorts over the years, we spread love there. And we've grown in that respect, And there are people, including recently, that they disagreed with me. I ended up being right. That didn't matter. I ended up making a lot of sense. That didn't matter. I ended up, being able to back up some things that I said, and that didn't matter. And at first I engaged, and at first I was like, how dare these people? And then I took a step back and I was like, you know what? Who cares? Who cares? See, social media should be for spreading love. When we use social media to spread hate, we make hate look exponentially massive, right? If you are on social media today, like if you polled a bunch of 10-year-olds, let's say a 10-year-old on social media today, they might tell you there's more hate in the world than love. And I want to change that. And I'm seeking to change that with you. So my request to you is that if you have social media or you know someone who does, I want you to, I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated with stuff. I'm not saying you can't disagree with somebody. I'm asking you to use social media to spread love. Instead of talking about all the things you hate, I challenge you to talk about something you love. I challenge you to say, I didn't like this movie, but that's okay. I challenge you to say something nice. You might go to a restaurant once in the next 3 years and have a terrible experience, but all the restaurants you had great experiences with, you didn't write anything about. But you'll write something about that terrible experience because you can't believe that restaurant's open and you want them to close, but you didn't talk about this 300 restaurants you had a great time with. So I challenge you today to go onto your social media and to spread love, to do something kind, to do something nice, to share something either from you or from somebody else that is a positive, good, kind message. Something that you think is just, okay, my friend just had a baby. So maybe, the message that I can do, and I've already done it, is that I can like their picture. And I said, welcome to the world. Welcome to the world, baby Max. Sending you my love, right? Simple as that. Send love, send positivity, send something nice to somebody else. Just do something nice, something kind today on social media. And it may not get you a lot of likes, it may not get you a lot of clicks, but you know what it does? It puts positivity in the water. We just celebrated Martin Luther King Day, did we not? And what did Martin Luther King say? Hate can't eliminate hate. Only love can. Right? Darkness cannot eliminate darkness. Only light can. So, I challenge you today, if we're going to act like Martin Luther King Jr. Day was just a couple days ago, which it was, then my question to you is, can you do this today? Can you do it? Not for me, for you, maybe for somebody that needs to hear it. Can you spread love on your social media today? Will you use social media for love? Kindness, goodness. Will you do that? We all can agree that we need more love in the world. And the only thing you can control is yourself. So if we need more love, and you have control over yourself to spread that love, then go on and spread it. Could be a funny thing. Could be a funny meme you saw. Make people laugh. My buddies send me funny memes every week. It's hilarious. And it could be any time of the day. And I already know. I pop that thing open, I'm going to laugh. Right? Just send something. Spread love in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you got a picture of a sunset. Maybe you're really proud of yourself for taking a walk today and taking care of your health. Whatever it may be. Just spread love today. One thing. You want the world to change? Well, then start changing it. Don't think that your little drop in the bucket doesn't matter. Because in order to fill that bucket, we need a lot of drops. And if everybody listening and watching right now spread love, if you all spread love today on social media, you might think I'm just one drop in the bucket, Dan. And my response to you would be, yeah, but together we can fill the bucket. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with the top dog of the week and an all-new segment, Cereal Combo, coming up right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, Carvelanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. What a fantastic experience that you'll get when you go into GG Cards and Breaks. They are not just your typical sports card shop. They are a wonderful, wonderful place to go into. I appreciate them so very much and respect the work that they do. They have brought so many great memories to me already in just a few months of working together, and I have a lot of respect for GG Cards and Breaks because of the people that are there. Josh and Anthony, the whole team, Joel, Alex, and so on and so forth. The way that they run that sports card shop, they care about it. They care about the hobby. They make memories every day. They're opening boxes. They're opening packs. They're having a good time. They're looking for their favorite players. You know, you look at Josh is a big-time Bills fan. He likes Josh Allen, so he's always looking for his Josh Allens to put in his collection that he has at home in this little like shrine area to Josh Allen. Anthony loves his San Francisco 49ers, looking for those Niners, collects the defense, does a lot of things with that. There's so many awesome opportunities and memories that you make there. Right now, they're doing a Panini NFL Player of the Day. It started on Wednesday, January 17th. It runs 32 days, including the 17th, so 31 days after the 17th. It's going on right now. You have the opportunity to go on in there, find some awesome Panini football product, and when you buy that product, there's all of these other things from Panini that could come from that. Really, really awesome experience at GG Cards and Breaks. They have packs and boxes, baseball, soccer, football, basketball, all sport. They also have AEW, hockey. If I didn't say hockey, they have hockey as well. And they have singles graded cards that you can go through and see what they've already opened. You can try your luck and open a pack or a box today, or two if you're feeling like you want to do that as well. There's a lot of really, really amazing product there. It's constantly evolving. There's people that come in and buy stuff right away. So if you don't get in there quickly, you might miss out on something. And every single week, they're trying to bring in something new and stay ahead of a lot of the really cool product that's coming out. So GG Cards and Breaks, it brings us closer to the sports teams we love, the sports figures that we love, and they just really do things differently in a great way. GG Cards and Breaks, 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave, open 7 days a week. That is Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. Make sure you head out there today. Let them know the DT sent you. With that being said, we're jumping right into the top dog of the week. And once we do that, we will be going into our newest segment called Cereal Combo. So let's get into our top dog of the week. Top dog of the week. Thanks, Lily. Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding brings you the top dog of the week. Why do they do that? Well, because they're the top place for me for all of your dogs for short and long-term care. I have entrusted them with Lily, and they have never let me down. The top dog of the week brought to you by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. A fantastic place for you to go for short-term care is Canine Camp Dog Daycare. Drop your dog off for a few hours during the day. Maybe you live by yourself, you're working, you got the kids, this, that, and the third. Maybe you're working on something with the house. Maybe you got some job interviews. Maybe you have to travel somewhere and you got to go to Albany and you don't know what time you're going to get back. Canine Camp Dog Daycare gives you peace of mind there to drop off your dog for the day at 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can call them at 315-437-7110. And you can also get more information on the daycare by going to K-9 KAMP.com. That's K-9 KAMP.com. For the campground, for longer-term care for your furry loving friend, if you're going to be out of town or maybe you're fumigating the house, renovating, whatever it may be, maybe you're getting some stuff ready, maybe you got to travel for a couple days in some tournament that your child is doing, then Canine Campground is the place for you to bring your dog of all different shapes and sizes over there to the dog boarding facility. Every dog that is at Canine Campground gets their own separate lodging, which is really nice. They get their own room, have their food bowl there so no one's stealing their food. They have their own bed. And some of those dogs that like to watch television, some of those cabins have their own TVs, believe it or not, folks. They have indoor and outdoor activities for the dogs, and you can call them at 315-299-4013 for the campground. That's 315-299-4013. 4013. More information at kampground.com. Make sure you check that out today. My top dog of the week. Everybody knows I'm a Jaguars fan. Everybody also knows I'm impartial on the show. You know that my second favorite team, or maybe you don't, is the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys got spanked at home by the Green Bay Packers. Dallas had not lost a home game this season. Not a single home game. But if you know what I know, the Dallas Cowboys are a different team in the playoffs than they are in the regular season. They've made it to the playoffs the last 3 years. They've been embarrassed in the playoffs the last 3 years. And who did the embarrassing this time? The Green Bay Packers. At one time, they were up 48-16 in the game. So who are my top dogs of the week? Green Bay. And you're like, Dan, but you like the Dallas Cowboys. I told you I'm an impartial broadcaster, and I respect where respect is due. The Green Bay Packers are my top dogs of the week. They're my grandfather's favorite team. God bless you, Grandpa Covino up in heaven. And the Green Bay Packers are my top dogs of the week. I'm going to tell you why. This is the first season that Jordan Love is a quarterback starting in the NFL. First year starting for the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers went 3 decades with 2 quarterbacks, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. People saw Brett Favre and said, how can you succeed Brett Favre? And then Aaron Rodgers did what he did, and then you said, how could you succeed Aaron Rodgers? And now here's Jordan Love in his first season as the Green Bay Packers quarterback in the playoffs. They got a 9-8 record. They did enough to get in. They didn't win the division, obviously. The Detroit Lions did. But they did enough to get into the postseason. The Vikings had a shot. Green Bay gets into the postseason, wins a playoff game in Jordan Love's first season as the starting quarterback after Brett Favre, after Aaron Rodgers. The dude went out there and did his work. A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones, that defense, special teams, they brought it together. They did enough. And then it was one of those things going, okay, well, they're the 7th team out of 7 in the NFC. So, some people are like, oh, they should just be happy to be there. They're probably going to lose. A lot of people thought that the Packers were going to lose. They're playing Dallas. Dallas is the number 2 seed. They're playing Dallas in Texas down at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington. And if you go down to the Dallas area like I have, Fort Worth, Arlington, and Dallas are like basically all in the same backyard-ish. So it's like they're the Dallas Cowboys, but they technically play in Arlington, which isn't far away from Dallas. And so they have this game, and the Green Bay Packers take care of it. They score on the opening drive. They score at will throughout the game. And even when Dallas started to come back, they could not stop anything Green Bay did. So as much as they score, they couldn't stop the Packers. The Packers are my top dogs of the week because they came in as the 7 seed. They came in as that team barely above 500, as a team that people thought, oh, it's cute, just be happy to be there. No, they were coming to win. Put up almost 50 on Dallas in a AT&T Stadium. Tremendous work by the Green Bay Packers. Shout out to my grandpa because I know he's enjoying this up in heaven. Very happy for him and happy for MT. Miss MT, my second mom, I call her. She's down in Florida enjoying the Green Bay Packers as well, as that is her favorite team. She's from Wisconsin. So a big-time shout-out to them. The Green Bay Packers are my top dog of the week for being the underdog that ended up being the overdog that more than took care of the Dallas Cowboys on the road. Now they have another task, a taller task, on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. Let's see how they do. But beyond everything, I love the fact that the Green Bay Packers are in the postseason. I think it quiets some people that want to hate on Jordan Love. I think it quiets some people that say they're nothing without Aaron Rodgers. And, it's not about proving other people wrong, though. I do want to make that clear. It's about proving yourself right. And that's what I'm getting at. No matter what people said about the Green Bay Packers, they quietly played football. They quietly watched film. They quietly went to practice. They quietly prepped for the game. And they quietly went out there, made the postseason, not on a lot of people's radar, and they went and beat the number 2 team in the NFC. So I love my underdog stories. I love people that go out there and say, whatever they say about me is nothing compared to what's inside of me. The Green Bay Packers, much respect, much love. You are our top dogs of the week, and I gotta let Lily get one more bark in here for the top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding. We're going to take a quick step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. When we spin back around, we will have the newest segment ready for you. I am ecstatic about this. It's called Cereal Combo. I'll tell you all about it and my co-host for this segment right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career, it's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. And welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We have an all-new segment set up here for you this morning. I'm ecstatic for the opportunity to bring this to you. This has literally been born out of something that I have in common with my co-host that's coming up here, and also something that was kind of just like a funny coincidence that we thought, and now it's become a segment, but I can't introduce this segment without bringing you its official logo and its music. So with that being said, here on the broadcast, it is now time for me to bring in my official co-host to this segment, which I'm so excited to have, and that is Caitlin Hodge-Mihalis. We call her Hodge, and she is here with me picture in picture. The only person that I have met in 38 years that appreciates cereal like I do. Miss Hodge, how are we doing?
What's going on, Dan?
How are you? How's everything?
It's got a little snow falling right now and getting ready for, got a game tomorrow. So staying warm, watching some film.
All right, well, fair enough on that. There's nothing wrong with being inside. It is very, very cold in central and upstate New York. You and I have this segment on Wake Up Call called Cereal Combo. We are going to be presenting different combinations of cereals, and as we do that, we're going to talk about sports and life while we eat these combos on the show. So we essentially, on a show called Wake Up Call, are going to have breakfast with you, and it's going to be from our concoctions. So I don't know what you have. You don't know what I have. That's the other part of it, too, is we unveil our bowls to the world and to each other simultaneously. So I will defer to you What's in your bowl for the cereal combo?
Well, I got a little Honey Smacks and a little chocolate peanut butter Cheerios.
Chocolate peanut butter Cheerios and Honey Smacks. I love it. I
I
love
thought
it.
it'd be the right route.
Yeah, I thought about a couple things that I could do. I got some ideas. Now I'm gonna be the funny thing now, and I really hope that people do this, is that and do it nicely though. I mean, don't scare me. But when I'm like walking through Wegmans, that I'm gonna be in the cereal aisle, and someone's gonna be like, "Hey, what are you guys picking this week? Can you tell us?" And I'm like, "No, I can't tell you. Get out of here." So, but mine are two of my favorites that I have been eating throughout the last couple weeks, and that is Honey Nut Cheerios mixed with Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So I got the cinnamon toast, the Honey Nut. I love cinnamon, love honey, mixing them together. This would probably be good with some blueberries, raisins, and whatnot, but this is my concoction for today. I had some weird ones. I want to kind of like test them out first, get a little feel for them, but there's something that's coming in the pipeline for the future. But this is my Honey Nut Cinnamon Toast Crunch that I have been known to attack them both. So that's what we're going to be doing this morning.
Love that. And I apologize. Roy's trying to get into my cereal. He's a big cereal guy as well.
Oh, no, that's okay. So here we go. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna add my milk and top off a little extra Honey Smacks. So
Nothing wrong with that. All right.
get out of there, Roy.
I love how you can like hear the milk when you
Legit.
Yeah. It's the real deal. All right, here we go. I'll put that over there. All right. Actually, can I put that in the... No, it's okay. So we're going to start this off. Have you had your concoction yet?
No, no, first timer. Figured why not experience it with you? So,
All right, take a bite. I want to know. What it tastes like.
cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, no, I'm on board.
Okay.
Good combo. You get enough of the honey, a little more peanut butter, but I thought that's why I had to add a little extra smacks, get a little more honey in there. So we still might need to do that. But it's good combo. How about you?
Yeah, this is good. This is very good. I know that my Honey Nut has been from back in the day, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch is just, it's a masterpiece. It really is. I don't know who created it and who sat down and thought, like, I want to make all of these morsels just taste like cinnamon goodness, but it's good. It's good. They balance each other. The honey and the cinnamon works.
Yep, I get that. I appreciate whoever decided to come up with those because those are some classic combos right there for you. Can't go wrong with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, this is good. And I remember I went through the cereal aisle, I don't know, year and a half ago, and I saw this combination that somebody had put in a box, and I literally looked up at God and I was like, did you hear me? Like, did you know? How did this happen? And I thought it was a joke. I took it off the box like if I touched it, it was going to be a mirage. It was Frosted Flakes and Lucky Charms in the same box. And I was like, this is insanity. Like, for a child, it's like, the sugar, the color of it all. I mean, probably the worst nightmare for a parent, but for a child, that's like the best thing ever. So
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong seeing those two.
So we're here on Cereal Combo with Caitlin Hodge-Mahalis, myself, Dan Tortora. We're having our cereals. We gave you our combos today. Let's jump into the world of the Monarchs and the Kings College Monarchs women's basketball team. I'm wearing the appropriate gear this morning. How's the season going?
Been better. We had a lot of injuries early on, so you had to have a lot of new players step into new roles. And similar to last year, we had a lot of injuries. So unfortunately, it went the same way again this year with one of the same players and then a couple of our other players that were key in terms of scoring and defense and minutes and whatnot. So we're trying to figure it out. We've been really close the last couple of games in conference, have another, winnable game, but, our conference is very good. So you have to be on. Otherwise, you're not going to win. So we'll figure it out at some point. We just got to keep figuring, the best way to work on process versus results and try to work on all the little stuff that's going to lead you to win. And then the winning hopefully gets there.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, when you're going through this and you're learning and you're adjusting and, growing and trying to find a way to, navigate through the adversity, you do things in the here and now where your team really has to buy into the fact that the struggle is going to pay off down the road. And it's hard because, if you have some seniors on your team and they're going through the struggle now, like they kind of know they're building the program for the future. They may not see it right away, but they're going to be a part of it. And it's just going through all of these things in the here and now that down the road, next season, the season after, whatever that may be, it's going to pay off. And then hopefully those student athletes will turn around when they have that success and pay it back to them and say, hey, if it wasn't for the senior class, if it wasn't for these people that we had with us or these veterans that we had in general, we wouldn't be able to do these things. So, you always hope that people can kind of see the bigger picture and not just look at like, okay, well, we just lost these games. We're just, we're having a tough season. You always hope people can see beyond that. But we live in a society that like wants you to look at what did you do right now? And then as soon as that's over, what are you going to do in the next second? Instead of seeing that, there's beauty in the process and there's pleasure in the process.
Well, 100%, you're spot on with that. You got to make sure that, you're doing the right things in the locker room from a team standpoint, from a coaching standpoint. You hope that they see that bigger picture. And it's tough. Like you said, everybody wants the instant gratification. They want the instant results to prove, hey, I'm doing this right. But you have to keep doing it right to get the result. And that's the tricky part of all sports. That's the tricky part of all of life. Sorry, the plow's going by now for the first time. So there's a little extra background noise.
I can't hear it. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, but yeah, so that's where you're at, that we've got good players. We've got players that understand it, but I think that frustration sets in and you got to keep reminding them that there is a bigger picture and that everything is still in front of you. You still have time to turn it around. You still have time to do things. And the point you made to kick the whole thing off is, what are you doing to leave it better than you found it? What are you doing to make sure that your teammates are set up and you're doing it the right way?
Yeah, and we talk about the right way, right? Because in the world we live in today, not that people didn't do this in the past, but it seems more legal in the NCAA now to cut corners and just do some really shady dealings, right? NIL, you can take pictures with $100 bills in your hands now. You're not supposed to, but you can go and text somebody. You could shake hands with someone after a game and whisper in their ear, hey, I love what you're doing. You should come play for my team. If you jump, I'm going to text you later, give me your number. And then you send to them and say, hey, don't tell your coach, but if you jump into the portal, we're going to do this, we could do this, we could do that. I mean, it's such, when we talk about doing things the right way, like I was saying at the top of the show, that should be common sense. Like when you say the right way and then people go, well, Dan, my right is different than your right. No, your right is right here. Now on the camera it's flipped, but this is my right arm, this is my left arm. So there is one right, there is one left. A lot of people want to jump out left, pretend like it's a right. What is doing things the right way to a coach that has been doing this for a while? How would you describe the right way?
I think you can go into the ethics side that you're talking about. I think we don't have as much with the NIL and some of the other shady business at the D3 level. I mean, it's still there. You talk about, recruiting and being upfront with kids and all that good stuff. That's the same regardless of where you're at, whether it's youth all the way up to professional. But I think the day-to-day part of the right way is not cheating the process. It's when accountability comes up, figuring out and being honest with yourself or with your teammates or with your staff or with your program or whatever about actually where are we? Like when you look at it and things aren't going well, can you acknowledge that they're not going well and acknowledge that something needs to change and then be able to go about it and not skip steps or not, try to look outward and try to figure out, okay, well, this is going on. It's like, okay, but can you find a way? Can you do that the right way? Can you show up and do it the hard way? I think the accountability is the part that you really can't cheat.
Yeah, no, and I would agree with that wholeheartedly. The accountability, the responsibility are things that you can't, cheat in the process. You might try to cut corners, but at the end of the day, You know, if they put you in a room by yourself, you can't cheat off anybody else's paper. And I think that eventually, I know that eventually, wherever somebody thinks they've gotten away with this, or wherever they've cut this corner and it seemed to work out for them, you eventually have to be faced with doing the work. You know, you can't, you might cheat your way all the way up to the CEO, but when the company fails, you didn't do the work. You might cheat your way up to being the head coach of a program, but when they see, like, okay, this person isn't organized, this person doesn't know how to run a practice, this person doesn't know how to draw up plays, they don't understand the lingo, they don't know how to talk to their student athletes, they don't know how to get their message across, they don't understand that some people learn things differently. It all eventually shows itself. If you don't do the work eventually finds you. I'm a firm believer in that.
Oh, 100% agree on that. You gotta understand that when you're doing whatever the work is, half the time, yeah, you have to have the pride part for yourself, but you're doing something for others in some capacity, and figuring out your way to how are you going to do that with your own spin, and how are you going to do it to where you're able to be bought into that process so that you want to do the work. And if you don't understand what that is for you or for those around you, or how that's going to work, it's probably not going to work, or it's not going to sustain. Like, right, you already said it. You can kind of get through it here and there and think, oh, well, I got by. At some point, it'll catch you.
Oh, yeah. Here with Caitlin Hodge Mahal, as we call her Hodge, myself, Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT, here on the broadcast. I'm going to let you grab some cereal here while I read you something. This is where sports meets life, right? We're talking about sports. We're also talking about life. I want to get a woman's perspective about something I brought up in my annoying moment of the week. So in this cereal combo, I read off, because everybody knows that I am not a fan of internet dating. But women don't like to talk to men anymore unless it's on the internet. So I'm going to read you a profile, and I want your honest opinion. I'm not going to add anything in my opinion or anything. I'm just going to literally read you this profile. I'm not going to tell you the name, because on the show we don't personally attack. We don't call people out. I'm using this as an example to have a deeper discussion. Okay? This is the profile, word for word, from a woman who is in her 30s. You ready? Okay.
Ready.
Not looking for anything serious, just a husband who's my rock and I'll be your ride or die. I have a child. I would prefer it if you did not. However, you must want children in the future. You must be mature, responsible, and own your own home, as I do mine. You must have an active driver's license, own or lease your own vehicle, and have a credit score greater than 730. Must enjoy and have the financial means to travel the world. Active passport required.
Well, it's oddly specific.
Yeah.
And I think, can I understand, like, what all those things show is basically having some type of responsibility, some type of, stability, and all of those good things. I understand that. But putting that on paper like that is just, it seems like to be a little lot. But I respect having like some type of standard or some type of boundary or whatever. That's all well and good. But that's also, I don't know, I feel like limiting to people and who they are and how they are.
Right.
And so, was it how I would word it? How I'd go about it? No. But do I agree? Like, I understand part of it, but that's a lot you're putting on somebody, and that's going to limit your pool. Because even if somebody has all of those things, it seems to be a little bit, I don't want to say much, because it's not a little much. Like I said, I respect people who have standards, they know what they want and how to go after it, but I just think it's limiting.
Well, and I look at it like this. I meet her criteria, but I found the message to be off-putting. It had nothing
100%.
It had nothing to do with love. It had nothing to do with seeking to find somebody that you can enjoy life with. It had nothing to do with romance. It read like a job description.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that checks out. That's exactly it. Because again, if you have a kid, you have family, you have all these responsibilities, you want someone who can measure up and do all of that. But it's absolutely a quick little like a CV kind of thing. Like, all right, give me your resume, give me this, give me that. It's formal for something that's supposed to be, from the insides, the deep downs. That part matters too, you know?
So would the proper response be, I would like to apply for the vacancy?
It's gotta be, right?
And then do I have the right to say, after careful consideration, though you have offered me the job, I do not think it's the right fit?
I think you go 100% the route of I'd like to thank, all of put out a graphic. You got to have a graphic with that and just like thank you, but I've decided to enter my name into the transfer portal kind of vibe.
And I mean, I think that the two things that hit me the most were, I have a kid, but I don't want you to have a kid. I find I'm not a big fan of double standards. People know that. So that's one side of it. And then the other side was must have a credit score greater than 730. That oddly specific number of 730, if someone's at 725, if they fluctuate between 750 and 720, I mean, is she checking? Are you going on the first date and she's like, give me your phone, log into Credit Karma and let me see this? Is this a like weekly check-in? Is it a monthly kind of like, you need to submit your credit report to me? Does she realize that every time you look up a credit report, it affects your credit? I mean, I'm just wondering if she's done the due diligence on this.
Right. That's when you're like, oh, do you bring it and check it? Well, I'm not going to check it. It's going to go down. That's not how this works.
So, yeah, but I find in the bigger picture of things, Hodge, and we've talked about stuff like this before, not like this amount of interesting, but it just seems like it's a very weird world out there. And I think what people don't understand, and I consider myself, to every day I want to be a good person, treat people with respect. I'm not perfect. I make my mistakes, but I would like to think I'm a good person. I would like to think that people see positive things when they see my name or hear about me or whatever, or are around me or not around me. And something like this, coupled with so many other things that I've experienced personally, the men and women that are responsible, are kind, have wisdom, have knowledge, have learned from things, believe in love, believe in God, believe in empathy and understanding, who want to listen and want to learn and want to grow and want to evolve. We are very turned off by today's dating pool because it's very it's very physical, it's very aloof, it's very detached, it's very demanding, it's very all about their exes. I have found in the last 5 years that it is outrageously difficult to just find a good person who's not exhibiting signs of being crazy.
Yeah, I think the other one that you can add to that list is like it's also pretty like reductive, right? Like it turns people into, all right, are you just these things? Do you fit in this box that I have predetermined? And it takes all of the human portion out of it. So I agree on that sense that so much is like social media presence. It's that same kind of like image that people need to upkeep. So then it turns into everything is an opportunity to have that kind of curated reductive image, and it's like, well, that's not real. So if that's what you're promoting, then people like you and people like me are like, well, that's not real, and I don't want to be a part of something that's not real. And so it's how do you navigate to get to that real part? Is it worth the time to get to that real part? Like, how much of it do you want to spend to figure out peeling away those layers? And everybody rightfully has layers. Everybody has trust levels. Everybody has different experiences that put you in those situations, but how are you essentially marketing it, right? It looks like marketing as opposed to sharing experiences. And there's a big difference between those two, even if they end up, on paper looking like they're supposed to be the same thing.
I mean, if I went with mine and I went with my history and went with things that happened to me, I mean, I could say no cheaters, no liars, no time wasters, no energy suckers, no know people who must support my career, must actually show up to a game. I mean, you and I met through me broadcasting, and if I told you the amount of women that I dated versus the amount of women I dated that showed up to one game,
It goes a long way.
it's and the thing, it just one game. I mean, I remember I dated somebody after I had graduated from Marywood, but I went back to Marywood to do a game with Brendan Murphy a few years back. And I said to her, I was like, hey, do you want to come out? And she was like, yeah, I'll come with you. And I said, okay, well, we got a double header. And she goes, you didn't tell me I had to go to the games. And I was like, well, what do you think I'm there for? And she's like, well, I'll give you one game and you should be happy with that because I don't want to go to any games. I just want to stay in the hotel. So she stayed and slept in the hotel and then came out to a game and a half. And she said, you should be thanking me. You should be proud of me because I showed up for these games. Like, I told you I don't want to go to them, and now you should be grateful. And I just remember thinking in my head, like, if I dated a woman who was a giraffe tamer and she spent 8 hours a day out in a area with a giraffe, and she said, hey, do you want to come to work? And I said, yeah. I wouldn't be like, how long do you need me there? What do I need to do? What am I watching? Do you have Wi-Fi? Like, I'm just going to work and I'm supporting her love for giraffes and what she's doing. I just feel like we've become this society where what's in it for me? What do I get from it? What's my benefit? How are you going to repay me? What's my reward? Instead of just being like, yeah, you know what? I care about you as a human being and I want to support you. Like, Hodge, I wear this when we're on air together. I wear it when we're not. I wear it when I'm out. Not because you see it. Most of the time, you don't know I'm wearing it. I wear it because I care and respect you. You and I have built a relationship over the years. And whatever you are and whatever you're doing, I want you to succeed. So I don't have to call you up and be like, look at what I'm doing. I'm wearing this. What do I get for this? Do I get a pair of shorts now? Like, are you going to shout me out at it? No, it's just like, hey, I'm proud of what you're doing. I think you're doing a great job. And win, lose, or draw, I know the content of your character, and I support that. So, I mean, why is that rocket science to some people?
Why? Great question. You figure that you're gonna monetize that if you wanted to, if you want to continue down that transactional route. But yeah, it's absolutely transactional. Everybody's treating everybody like some type of business opportunity or some type of, it's for them. I need this. I'm gonna get what I need and I'm gonna leave. And so that's the part that is just discouraging because you want to be able to connect, and that's why it's special when you do find like friendships, like where we're still talking after 15 plus years, where you find relationships or you still connect with teachers or coaches or people in your neighborhood, or you walk into a local place and sure, it started out as transactional, but you walk in and they're like, hey, and they know you, they know the usual, they know why you like the usual and all of that good stuff, right? Like that's the part that I think everybody is seeking, but because of the way social media, appearance, instant gratification, they don't know how to seek that and they don't know how to fail at seeking that. So it's easier to treat everybody as, well, I can't fail if I control this. It's like, you can't control everything. Part of the whole real experience is failing, but it's how are you failing? Are you failing by being like, you should be grateful for me and I'm doing all of this for you, and then it failed? Well, yeah, it's going to fail in that sense because it's transactional. But are you willing to fail by being vulnerable, putting yourself out there, and then realizing, nope, this isn't a fit. This was good for what it was worth, but all right, this is not the right kind of fit that we're both looking for. But you can still gain something from that. It's still real in that sense. But if you're going to be transactional, that's never going to happen. You hand over the money and you move on, or you take whatever pictures and post it for whatever reasons to say, cool, then it's not going to go anywhere.
There's a really good movie here with Hodge and our new segment here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, premiering today, January 19th, 2024, and premiering for the new year as well, called Cereal Combo. Hodge had her combo. I had mine. Mine was delicious. So I want to thank Honey Nut Cheerios and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I knew I loved you both, but I love you better together. So your combo, share with everybody that's just tuning in. Let everybody know what you had and what the results were.
Yeah, no, similarly, shout out to Kellogg's and General Mills or whatever. We had some Honey Smacks and some peanut butter Cheerios. And I know we talked about cereal combos, but one of my favorite other combos is when I put cereal into like a peanut butter sandwich. So this cereal combo reminds me of when I put like Honey Nut Oats into my peanut butter sandwich because you got the chocolate and the peanut butter and uh chocolate's a new route in the cereal as opposed to the sandwich, but then you get the honey and you get a nice little kick. It melts in your mouth, you know?
I'm going to tell you something that I did a combo of, and it plays the Hispanic side of me. And I'm going to preface it by saying I think only George Lopez, I don't know this for a fact, but if I had to guess, I think only George Lopez and I have tried this. But I had no prior anything. I was in my kitchen and I had tostadas in the house. And I said, okay, I want to make something, but I didn't have like any meat. So I was like, man, I really want peanut butter and fluff, but I don't want the bread. I don't want the calories. So I got a tostada shell and I put peanut butter on the bottom and I put fluff on the top and then I put hot honey over it. And I ate this thing in the kitchen like the giant child that I am. And I took a couple bites and I went, damn, that's good. And then I thought to myself, George Lopez would understand me, but I don't know if the rest of the world would understand what I just did here. Like I made a peanut butter and fluff, and anytime I shared it with anybody and I said peanut butter and fluff, they're like, ugh, really? Oh, and then that last thing I go, but I put hot honey on the top. And I talked to people that were Hispanic, people that weren't Hispanic. As soon as I said the hot honey, they went from to oh, that might work. So what do you think about peanut butter and fluff hot honey tostada? Because I'm telling you, Hodge, it did something. I'm still thinking about it, so it worked.
The second you started going on, I was like, I need to know where this is going and I need to know now. And so that feeling and initial reaction has not gone away. I'm for it. I'm in the search for some hot honey. That's where I think I'm at.
No, the hot honey is a game changer, and I want to thank Pizza Man because Pizza Man met the creator of Mike's Hot Honey, and back in the day. So now like everybody's putting hot honey on stuff, and people are copying everybody, but they have been doing this thing for so many years. So they deserve the credit. I'm not saying that because I work with them. I'm saying that because like we were having hot honey discussions before it showed up at all these like chain restaurants and other places. And they put it on their pizza, the Sweet Heat, which is my favorite one there. And it's arugula, mini pepperoni, like little pepperonis that kind of cup up, meatball, and hot honey. And they know me so well that if I order a slice of cheese, I get a side of hot honey, and I literally put the hot honey on the cheese pizza like I'm buttering a piece of bread. And they're like, they put a little bit of hot honey. I like make the whole thing hot honey, which sometimes makes the roof of your mouth go away. But it's so worth it. It's so good. I have to ask you this, Hodge. Are we each other's spirit animals? Because every time you come up with an idea, I'm down for it, vice versa. I have never met anybody that not only appreciates my food choices and combinations, but is excited and willing to try them. Are we each other's spirit animal? Is that why we cross paths at Marywood?
I think that it's the whole, yeah, all the good, sports and friendship, whatever. But like, I appreciate the combos and the suggestions because I will literally try anything. But the ones that you come up with just like hit right, and it's just like, you know what? I'm upset I didn't think about it, but I'm glad that I have a friend that did think about it and sign me up.
Yeah, that's. I think I thought that my spirit animal would be a real animal, but I think it's a friend. I think I have found my spirit animal in Hodge. So before we jump off for today, we've discussed a lot of different things. I would love to know this from you because I like to defer. Right, I'm not that host that just wants to hear myself talk. Whether it be coaching or something else. What's on your mind today? Like you woke up this morning, you're thinking about stuff. What's important to you right now? We stepped into a new year. A lot of people, you turn that page, clean slate. When you jumped on the broadcast today and you had a few minutes, in the queue, kind of like getting ready for cereal combo, what's on your mind?
Yeah. So I would say, in terms of starting new year, what I'm thinking about in those like quiet moments is I want to make sure, obviously I got a little basketball in my mind. We got, team coming up, trying to get through some struggles. But even in the personal side of things and with friendships, like I think I just want to be better at showing how much I care in that sense. Because sometimes you do get bogged down in it. Sometimes my what I deem as me caring,
Yep.
maybe others don't read as well. So I want to do a better job of whether that's with the team, like trying to show "Hey, this is how I'm showing that I'm caring and making sure that that gets across. But I'm also trying to do a better job of like the friends that have, they're not in the immediate area. You're not seeing them every day. You're not working with them, or you're not going to school with them, or you're not doing all of that stuff. Starting probably a couple of months ago, I've been trying to be more intentional about not waiting for other people to reach out. I've been trying to do a better job of reaching out to others. So I think that's something that while I'm sitting here, like I got a text from a really good friend that I probably need to be a better friend to because, they moved away. They had a coaching world, you get how you understand sports. You get really close with people pretty quickly, and then jobs, life, family, take you different places. So I got that text right before we hopped on. So it's just like, what can I do to be a better friend to reach out? And I always take that quiet moment too to appreciate when you get those reach outs at the right moments when you don't realize maybe at the right moment you get somebody giving you a phone call and all of a sudden like you got a tear in your eye 'cause you're like this is a good friend. Like I know I have good friends, but in those moments like getting that, and I want to continue to do that for everybody around me. So that's probably my thought where I'm at, trying to be a little better at being a friend and recognizing that out front.
Well, I can tell you if you could pick anything this morning, not knowing what you were going to say. I mean that is a message to the world. It's a sign of appreciate what you have, appreciate and I mean I could do that thing too. One of my buddies, I've known him since I was 7 or 8 years old. He got deployed, and so if my dad didn't go to lunch with his dad, then my dad wouldn't have known, and he wouldn't have told me, and then I wouldn't have known, and by the grace of God and how things work out, and I always call them God incidences. My dad gets the information. He tells me, I'd been thinking about Mark, and I sent a message out to him, and I called him, and I left him a message. He's like, sorry, couldn't pick up. And I said, I love you, buddy. And he said, I love you too, man. And I said, I just wanted to make sure that I love you and I appreciate you, how much I do, before you headed out. And, and been praying for him and praying for his family. Just had another kid, so he's got 2 little ones at home. He has his wife, he's got his dog, he's got a great career, wonderful family. And so, it's just one of those things where you say, okay, I really don't tell him I love him enough. And we've always talked about, we don't talk for 8 months, we don't talk for a couple years. And as soon as we do, it's like we've literally been hanging out with each other every day. And I have people like that. I think you and I are like that. And, and I can tell you this, that I appreciate, because I know you did this and you did it at a time where you were the tear in my eye when this person was just a tear for you, is that within the last couple months when you reached out to me and were like, hey, how you doing? How you been? Just like, you're just checking in. I looked down at that and I said to myself, like, those are the messages that sometimes are few and far between, because I'm always the one that reaches out. And when you get those messages, like, you just really feel like this is a good friend, this is a good person, this is somebody in my life that like genuinely thought about me today and cares about me. And so I want to tell you off of what you said that you've already done that for me, and that I didn't forget that moment. And I really can lean on moments like that when you are having a rough day, is saying like, hey, the whole world might not care about something, but Hodge reached out and was like, hey, Dan, what's up? And I just want you to know, like, you have been that friend to me, and you have made me feel noticed and thought of and important. And, I want to shout you out for that, because I feel like the people that do that are the real ones. So I want to thank you for that.
No, absolutely. And that was part of it. It's everybody gets those quiet moments when you think of people that maybe you haven't thought of for a while, and you don't do anything about it. So I've been trying to make it a point to do something about it, even friends, family, all that good stuff. There's no reason not to.
Yeah, that coming from Miss Hodge here. Hodge, we got one final thing we're going to do here. I'm going to mix cereal combo with another combo, and it's going to be rapid fire. where we get to put each other on the hot seat. You've played it. We know that we had the coaches around the screen, which we need to do again, where we all played this thing. We have no prior preparation for this. This is why I love doing it, because I don't know what you're going to say. You don't know what I'm going to say. The reality is we are on live video and audio around the whole entire world. So we have to answer it, or we look really strange, or we could try and pretend like the feed cut and we just, and then people realize that my thumb was moving. So you get to ask the first question. What do you got?
All right, I'm gonna go with this because I was actually talking about this with a friend also this morning.
Okay.
So if you could be friends with any cast of either, it could be a set of characters from a book, a movie, a TV show, a play, anything, fictional though. What friend group are you hopping into, or you think would be a good time?
Oh man.
And don't feel any pressure, because I had the wrong answer at first, and then the farther we discussed, I found the right answer. So I was wrong at least twice before I figured out the right answer.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a fictional thing. I mean, I always tell my buddies from Marywood, a shout out to John and to Mark and to Steve and to Brandon. I always say to them, and this is a thing that I really think we should do, and I think we've all kind of realized through life that we need to do this stuff. But, you know, it's like, it's so, I mean, I hope we get to do this soon, because I've been waiting to do this. And as busy as my schedule is and theirs is, like, I will make, you know this, people tell me all the time, they're like, oh my God, you're so busy. But I never want my friends to feel I'm too busy for them. And I don't think you've ever felt that way. So I would love to rent a cabin and have that grown-ups type of weekend where you all get back together, you know, play pranks on each other. I'm a big prankster. So, you know, just have a good time and hang out. The crazy thing is, I'm the guy that I think everybody thought when I was 5 years old, they're like, he's going to get married when he's 6. He's going to meet a girl in a sandbox. That's the rest of his life. And now they're all married. A bunch of them have kids. And I'm not married. And I'm out here, you know, seeing all these crazy people and dating. So I'm like the David Spade of the grown-ups thing. I'm not him by anything that he is in that movie, but I'm the single guy. And so, you know, I would like to have a grown-ups. I mean, I would love to bring somebody with me, but at this point, if they all go with their wives and I go with my prank kit, I think I'm going to have the best time. So I think that that's a good way to go. I would also say I would want to be a part of the Spider-Man and Friends. I would like to, you know, be a part of that world. I'd like to, we haven't seen it on the big screen in live action, but I would like to live in the world of Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, and I would like to be another Spider-Man, my own Spider-Man, and be able to interact with them, all have our own cities, our own whatever universe, and then be able to cross with each other, learn from each other. You know, hey, did you know that you could do this? And I'd be like, no, I didn't know that. Did you know you could do this? And kind of teach each other and bring each other up. When a new Spider-Man or woman comes along, we can kind of show them the ropes. And I feel like being a part of that web would be pretty cool. Those would be my two answers.
Nice. All right. Good for on the spot. What better than I did on my first go around.
I want to know yours now that you brought up this question.
The right answer that I settled on was Ted Lasso.
Okay.
I just want to be besties with like Rebecca and Keely and Sam. Like it just, obviously I could talk. I feel like I'd have some amazing times with Coach Beard. You just talking strategy, coaching, and then life. Yeah. It's just, you got enough people to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Play a little darts with Ted in the bar. It'd be stellar.
I very much agree that would be. I always, whenever I think about coaching, that's the first thing I think about. Like, I would have to put together a team that's like that, or else what's the point in coaching? And every show is funny, and every show has a message. There's all of these really good. It's kind of like growing up on TGIF. The shows were good, but there was always a message. And Ted Lasso always has a message. And I think that's a great answer. I find myself wanting to believe that all of those characters are real that, Richmond is real and that there's going to be more episodes following the documentary of this actual team, because I find myself constantly wanting more. I never knew how much I really like Jason Sudeikis, but it just I agree with you. Being able to walk in, you're working with somebody and, this person is the owner of the club and here's this person that's doing PR, but then you just sit on the couch and you have real life emotion and real life things you go through, and you just find like that as much as it's all professional and it's all this stuff, that you can like literally just be you and cry on somebody's shoulder. The show hits every inch of what it means to be a really good friend and leader, and I guess I would say it is the right answer.
Yeah, a lot of redeeming qualities, a lot of good times. And like you said, the shows with a message only work if you care about the characters, and the characters are just so real and wonderful, even in their, not so real or no, so nice and wonderful moments.
Yeah, no, I like, and I still remember all the songs, and it's funny because we actually did a thing with Brian and Stratton College of Syracuse. So we were doing rapid fire, and I said to the one of the main people there, Mary Hawkins, in kind of her debut on the show and debut on campus, I said, look at all the coaches here of all the teams. If you had to put together who is who on Ted Lasso, I want you to like give them all a role on Ted Lasso. And so we did that. And then with Alex Grigorita, the women's soccer head coach, I had him and I do a rapid fire, but we did it in a press conference. So he left the camera and I played Ted Lasso, and he would ask me just shout out questions as different people. And then I did the same thing. And then he said, I thought it was going to be something like Ted Lasso has a message and it's endearing. And I said, is that what you want? And then on the spot, I just created what I thought would be a good Ted Lasso message. So it was fun. It was a good time. Good. I think about it all the time. I thought about Ted Lasso this week. So it is the right answer. What's your next one for me?
All right. Let me see. What's a snow day look like for you?
Looks like I don't get snow days.
True.
But
on an ideal where you don't have to jump and run your show and go and do, coverage of everything that you cover.
Yeah, no, I would say, okay, so I take holidays off now. I didn't before. Everybody would take a break, and I'm just like, because I love what I do, and I'm just going. And my buddy actually said to me, Jason Leone, shout out to him. Our show's going to air today, our newest episode of From Mother's Cupboard to Table from Mother's Cupboard in Syracuse. By the way, if you like food and concoctions, you got to come out. We get you the Cuse McMother. I created a sandwich, bacon, egg, and cheese inside of 2 pieces of French toast. You can pick it up and eat it like a sandwich. You can cut it up and have it with syrup. It's a game changer.
You're saying too much. I'm in already.
So that's a good. What did you say before? You said say less. So
yes.
So we did a show together, and he looked right at me, and he said, I said, man, I got to sleep. He goes, how you doing? I said, honestly, the biggest thing on my mind is rest. And he goes, you got to take care of yourself. You got to he's like, you got to take breaks. And he said, I'm telling you, like, as good as you are, if you take breaks, you're going to be even better. And so Martin Luther King Day, this past Monday, I took the day off and I stayed in bed for a really long time. I watched TV with Lily. And when I said I was doing nothing, I said to my dad, I go, this isn't I'm doing nothing until 4. This isn't I'm doing nothing, but I'm going to make these phone. I'm going to do this and I'm going to put this on. I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally just going to be. And Lily and I watched TV and we hung out and we watched, we just watched stuff, and I played with her and she laid next to me and we just were very peaceful. It was quiet in the house. And, ever since then, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I've been going like a madman, and I've seen her kind of, really just want her dad time. And now Monday feels like a million years ago. And so my challenge today is to give her some of Monday for sure.
That's good. Yeah, no, you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's a big thing. So I'm going to hit you with this one. I had something on my mind. It was something that you had said, and now it's fading from me a little bit here. I had one for you, but I would say it was going off at Ted Lasso. If you were Ted Lasso and you wanted to give us a word of advice today, what would you say? That was the question.
Ooh, all right. Like within a classic like Ted Lasso-ism.
Yeah.
All right. If you ever talk to my team, half of them are sick of me, but the amount of analogies that I use, I get eye rolls immediately. So this is very much up my alley.
I love it.
So again, you're familiar with basketball. So like the middle third of the floor, like in the key, we call that the river. And the way that we defend, we try to keep people out of the river. Well, why do we call it the river? And this, I think people can translate this to life. Like water is life in civilization. Like if you go all the way back, that's where towns are built around. That's where cities and people thrive and animals thrive. When there aren't people, you need water for life. So the reason we call it the river is you can't let people into your river. You can't let people take over and go in. That's how we're going to lose games. But I also think it ties into what you were just saying is you have to protect your water source or whatever it is that rejuvenates you and gives you life. Like you need to protect your river. And that's something I relate to you so hard on when you talk about you love what you do, so you stay super busy. I mean, I played 3 sports in college. I did jobs for, 5 jobs at one point in time. And you do it because you like it and you want to get to where you want to and meet more people and do more things and explore new places. But at a certain point, you have to learn to, settle down and rest and protect your water and protect your peace or protect however you want to word it. Everybody has that stuff, but you have to realize you don't need, anything contaminating your river. So I think my little Ted Lassoism is that's the river. You don't let people into your river unless you want them to be, giving them life and doing all the other good stuff we talked about before.
Protect your river. I'm going to use that. I'm definitely going to use
You'll
that.
hear me watch any games. I'm screaming, no river.
I love that. I love that. That's awesome. So I'm gonna write this right here. Protect. I'm keeping it in the studio. Protect your river. What's your last question for me?
Last question. Let's go. Here's more of just a curiosity. Have you put that hot honey on wings, and how does it go?
If I put it on wings, I have. Did I? I think no, I did. Okay. So at Pizza Man,
It sounds incredible. Put a little bit of garlic with the hot honey.
it's so good. And here's the thing. So Mike's Hot Honey, and I know there's other hot honeys, but Mike's Hot Honey is the one I use at Pizza Man, and I'm a big fan. It's the first one I ever had. So I go there and I get my sweet heat, and then I get my extra crispy lemon pepper dry rub wings. And I think it's really funny because Lou Williams, allegedly at a strip club in Georgia, has his Lou Wills, which are lemon peppers. And I have jokingly said my lemon peppers are better than yours. And then when I would go on Instagram and put up my lemon pepper wings, pictures of them from Pizza Man, I played Lemon Pepper Freestyle in the background by Drake. So I believe that I have dipped them into the hot honey before, and that's just a delicacy. I don't think I could dip if I dip my finger into hot honey, there's a good chance I would bite my finger. I mean, I think I have dipped the pizza, you can dip the crust, you can dip the wings, you can dip your forehead. I think literally anything you put into Mike's Hot Honey is going to be good. Like I would suggest to people to not drop it on paper because you may find yourself eating paper.
Noted. I gotta get on this train because I like a good like a hot honey garlic on wings, all of that. So I need to dabble and put it on more things. I'm going to learn your ways and I will report back.
Thank you. I like being Yoda in this world. So in this conversation, don't always get to be Yoda. So my question back to you is, okay, so let's go here. Do you watch Marvel? Do you watch Star Wars? Do you watch any of that like science fiction, Harry Potter, any of those or no?
Not a lick of it. I did end up watching and reading all of the Harry Potter books. My girlfriend, huge Harry Potter nerd, big time. So again, like we're talking about, if something's important to people, like I want to know what it is that you like. So when she was like, this is like one of my favorite series from like growing up, love it. It's like, all right, I will read it and find out. So other than that, Marvel and my controversial and it's probably like my least popular trait amongst people that are big on it. I'm just like, it's all right. I've watched if people tell me to watch something, because like if you told me your favorite Marvel, like if you're you're telling me like, hey, the Spider-Verse, whatever the new one's coming out, like watch that because that's my favorite one, I would go and watch it, and then I'll tell you, how I feel. But other than that, not a ton. I loved, if it counts, like Game of Thrones, watched that a bunch. Really enjoyed that. Little fantasy, but it's not quite the same as the superhero world.
So I will say this. So going off of that, my question, first of all, shout out to your lady, and I hope she is doing well. So, and we got to give shout out where shout out is due. Can you share? Do you share the name? Can we do a name shout out, or are you cool?
Oh yeah, Casey. Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to Casey. So here's my thing. So did she watch Game of Thrones with you or no?
No, no, she watched it on her own. Yeah.
Okay, so but she's seen it. Okay. So
Yep.
if you had to make yourself a character in Game of Thrones, who would you be, and who would Casey be?
Like this is more aspirational. I would love to be like Brienne of Tarth because that's the most honorable, like badass woman like out there in that show. I thought she was such a cool character that had such a cool arc, and then
Yeah.
you just see how that goes. So big fan. Casey? Oh, I don't know. She's in a good way. She's a nerd, so she would probably. This is more in essence, but like I'm thinking like Sam, the one when he's the one who is becomes best friends with Jon Snow up
Yeah.
at the Samwell Tarly or whatever. More so from they don't look much in stature, but they're brilliant, and then they have good character and they step up and they do all of those good things. So I think in terms of like essence and character and nerddom.
Yeah. I think Sam. I think I had him on my phone as a hotkey. I think Sam's the one where he was like, what he said. I forget exactly what he said, but I remember the end of it where he was like, "I don't wish bad on them. I don't want bad on them." He's like, "Well, I don't like them really." It's just the way that he. It was like it was this thing where he's like having this moment, and it's like, I kind of wish bad on somebody. Oh, I shouldn't do that. And then he's like, I should like everybody. And then he pauses and is like, I don't like them really. And I remember that just hit different. So I like that you picked Sam. So does she have a dry sense of humor?
Yeah, she'll try to say that she's the funny one, but she's not. But yeah, she has a little bit good sarcasm, good quick wit,
I like it.
but I'm absolutely the funny one.
Well, Hodge, I would have to defer to you because I've had more experience. So I'd have to get the full information. But right now, you would be winning the vote. But I would also have to see what she brings to the table. I want to see what type of humor is going to come out of this. If she has humor like Sam, it might be a little bit difficult because Sam would you thought he was like the nicest guy in the world, and then Sam would just hit you with a little cross, and then you're like, uh-oh,
Little truth bomb.
Sam's got some jokes. But with that being said, Miss Caitlin Hodge-Mihalis, we call her Hodge, and always happy to have Hodge on the show. And here in Cereal Combo, we got to bring you cereal combos, literally eating them while talking about sports and life. Real talk here, honest talk from the head coach of the King's College Monarchs women's basketball team. As always, Miss Hodge, thank you for your time. And I'm happy that we put a name on this thing, and now we got something to do coming up here.
I'll work on my next great combo. Maybe we'll be a little more out of the box instead of going for the little flavor meld and the good vibes. But I appreciate you always rocking the merch. I got my Monarch women's basketball as well hanging out. But you're a good friend. I appreciate you always taking time to catch up. And I will throw it out there that you said it on the internet that I must be the funny one to start for now. So it's on the internet, so it must be true.
Hey, that's what they say, right? So
Until it's not. That's
true.
what we're going with.
Right, it's true until it's not. So with that being said, thank you. I appreciate your friendship as well. I appreciate a text message, a phone call goes a long way, and that I definitely shared here today coming from you. So for Caitlin Hodge-Mihalis, for myself, Dan Tortora, this has been the first ever jump off of Cereal Combo. And we did it first. So going off on that, if anybody tries to steal this on the internet, it's already out there that we were the first ones to it. So have yourselves a great day. Hodge, as always, thank you. And I look forward to talking with you soon.
Yep. Take care, Dan.
Take care. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, here where sports truly meets that thing called life, with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and always appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. When I say being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I mean being on one of our live feeds that go up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the world on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both / Wake Up Call DT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Once the shows go live, they hop into the archives, and you have the opportunity to get over 1,600 episodes on Podbean alone. You can find us on Amazon Music as well as on Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, and you'll find us on any one of those outlets. You can also go to wakeupcalldt.com and find all of these outlets in one place. Big time thanks to our incredible partners in Central and Upstate New York. I implore you to go and visit these wonderful, wonderful institutions. I don't just work with businesses, I work with good people. And that is why it is my pleasure to support them, to spotlight them, and to share them with you, because some people have sponsors. Some people have just people that they work with. They don't know a lot about them. They pay them good money, whatever. My partners are good people. My partners are people that I appreciate, I respect, I enjoy being around. It's hard to put a good team together. Any coach will tell you that. But when you get those right pieces and you see it start to come together, when you have the Jays of Carvel DeWitt and you have the Danny and Heather Tomes and the team from the Wildcat Sports Pub, James and Angela Bell, JoJo and company from Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Josh Anthony and the crew from GG Cards and Breaks, Pat and Sue from PB&J's Lunchbox, John and his team at Avicoli's, Mark Zaccaro and the team over at Great Lakes Honda City, and everybody that's been there over the years, as well as Manny. God bless you up in heaven. And a happy belated birthday once again. And shout out to your whole family, including Miss Debbie. The Delia family at Pizza Man and the whole team there, Heather, Jordan, and the crew. Mother's Cupboard, Pete, Amy, and everybody over there. Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, led by Jimmer Sikowski, the Sikowski family, and the wonderful, wonderful love and beautiful example of faith in God that they give. Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Campground Dog Boarding, Lorraine, Chad, and the team. Lemoyne College, Bob Beretta, Dr. Linda Lemura, the head coaches, the student athletes, the alumni, the administration, the board, Pete DeLaura, Brian and Stratton College of Syracuse, everybody over there, Amy, Mary, all of the coaches, all of the student athletes, Nick Dimitrievsky, Alex Grigorita, Clay Gagan, Sherman, Sean Peak, Tay Baker, Nolan Cass, and so on and so forth. These aren't just businesses we work with. These are people that we have built bonds with, people in the community that we have seen do good things, that we know care. When you put a team together of caring, hardworking people who believe in consistently doing good and not occasionally doing something nice, that's when you put together a team that you're really proud of. And when I wake up in the morning and I look at these logos, I smile at every single one of them that you see on your screen right now because of the people that are behind each of them. And that means a lot to me. And that's why we are very purposeful with who's on this team. I want to thank you for tuning into today's broadcast of Wake Up Call. And I also want to give a shout out to our exclusive multimedia marketing partnerships. Lemoyne College. We are proud to be the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. Every Wednesday is Dolphin time. You'll find your Dolphins with us on Wednesdays with AD and DT, the first and third Wednesday of each month, with Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, a.k.a. DT, and on the second and fourth Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time to find the Dolphin Dive, diving into stories of student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. All of these wonderful pieces are found on our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out our Lemoyne playlist. You can get more information as well by going to wakeupcalldt.com under exclusive partners and clicking on Lemoyne. And of course, you can always go to LeMoyneDolphins.com. Fins up. And want to let you know, it is Fins Frenzy time again for men's and women's basketball. The women's basketball team will tip off tonight in the beginning of Fins Frenzy, and part 2 of Fins Frenzy will be this Sunday, January 21st, with men's basketball at home at Ted Grant Court. We look forward to seeing you for both of these events tonight, Friday, January 19th, and on Sunday, January 21st. Can't wait to see you Sunday afternoon as well. Fins up, as always. Brian and Stratton College of Syracuse, our exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You will find your Bobcats every single month here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Much love to the Bobcats, as I mentioned them before. Nick Dimitrievsky, Alex Grigorita, Clay Gagan Sherman, Sean Peak, Tay Baker, Nolan Cass, and the crew. Appreciate Mr. Carroll, who is now the esports head coach. So many great pieces and content that you'll find with the Bobcats all throughout the year entitled Bobcat Buzz. And you will find all that by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and check out our playlist, BSC Syracuse, on our YouTube channel. You can also find the Bobcats by going to wakeupcalldt.com. Underneath exclusive partners, you'll find BSC Syracuse. And for more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. Shout out to Coach X and the Bobcats who got a victory Clay Gagan Sherman, the head coach, was at home with his newborn baby, Max Scott. Shout out to Max, and love and blessings to you always, little man. And shout out to Coach X for the awesome work that he did stepping up and coaching the team and getting a victory in their first game at home in the second half of their season for the number 3 ranked team in the entire nation. Go Bobcats. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for joining us for Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, where today's topic was social media is for spreading love. Top Dog of the Week, honoring the Green Bay Packers this week, K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Campground Dog Boarding, the place to bring your dog for short and long-term care in East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street. And our newest segment to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, Cereal Combo, where the combination of Caitlin Hodge-Mahalis, a.k.a. Hodge, and myself, Dan Tortora, who loves cereal, and our cereal combo concoction. So we're the cereal combo. What's in our bowl is a cereal combo, and we get to talk about sports and life while eating that cereal and having a great time with you. It was a great jump-off segment, first one ever, and so fitting to have it here at the beginning of 2024. I want to thank Caitlin Hodge-Mahalis, the head coach of the Kings College Monarchs women's basketball team and an alum of my university as well, Marywood University, proud alumni of Marywood, where she was a student athlete. And when I was doing MU courtside, I was broadcasting her games. So that's how we met. Great time there. So appreciate everyone here. Appreciate Hodge. Appreciate Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. You could see right over my shoulder here, you see that tin, the Jacksonville Jaguars white tin. Any size tin that you get at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Any tin you get in store, you can get half price refills for the rest of your life. Any tin you buy, any size, half price refills for the rest of your life. They got massive tins. They have smaller tins, whichever one you get. And they could put dividers in that tin. So when you go in there to refill it, you don't have to get one flavor. You can get a bunch of different flavors. I think I can get 3 different ones packed in there. So make sure you head out to Ma and Pa's today. Pick out your tin. Get your favorite sports team. They got the teams ready for the NFL playoffs. You can get those today while supplies last at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. I look forward to seeing you out there. And I thank Ma and Pa's for always telling us what's popping. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT. X at Call DT, Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. As always, I will see you for Finn's Frenzy tonight and this weekend. I hope you have a blessed day, a blessed weekend, a wonderful, safe, healthy, and happy road. Please be good to people. Please be kind. Don't let hypocrisy be the 8th deadly sin of humanity. Let's be good. Let's be well. And as always, God bless. No stress. Do your best. I'll talk with you soon. Take care.